Hey guys, one of the requests that I got in the video that I did for the tin whistle drawing a couple of weeks ago was to break down some of the more advanced ornaments, specifically the triplet and what I call crossing noise. I've done videos on both of these years ago, 5-10 years ago, and I went back and looked at them, and for some reason I decided to set the camera so close you can kind of read the fingerprints off my fingers. So wasn't terribly useful. I figured I'd do it a little bit better. I'm going to use a tune called I Will If I Can, which is a jig that around here we all learned out of O'Neill's. I think it's got another name. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but if somebody's got the other name for it, by all means drop it in the comments. But I'm going to play the tune first and then kind of break down some of those ornaments. So here we go. Right, so that's the tune, and there's a couple of things in there that I do, and specifically the ornaments that I wanted to cover, the triplet and the what I call a crossing noise, which is kind of a tap, but like a lower tap. Anyway, just to break it down for you, the triplet I've mentioned in a few videos, and I did a video on it, I think on the flute. So basically what that is specifically on the whistle, it's usually on those three sequences of notes. So A, B, C natural, or B, C natural, D. And it's really the C natural that gives the triplet a bit of a pop. So when you do it slowly, doesn't really sound like a whole lot, but when you get it up to tempo, it's got that nice rhythmic accent to it, and it's because the way you do it is as you're transitioning from the B to the C natural, you're doing, again, what I call a crossing noise, which I'll get to later, but you're actually hitting, in effect, a G, rather than just going a real clean transition. You're hitting that kind of bonus note in there, and up tempo gives a little bit of an extra pop. Now in this tune specifically, I use it in a lot of places right off the bat. So really it's just an arpeggio. So you don't have to do the triplet. But if you do it, it kind of gives it a nice little rhythmic accent. Just really makes those notes jump out a little bit. So that's when I like to use it. You can run exercises with this, with a triplet, and you can do a triplet on any sequence of notes that you like. You can do something like that, and I demonstrated something similar to that when I did the jig exercises video. But here we're not really talking about the rhythm of the jig. That's not the issue. The issue is using that triplet as an ornament. And it's only that one that involves the C natural that gives it that pop. You're more than welcome to do a triplet anywhere you want, if you're so inclined, but just because of the physics of the instrument, it's really only those ones on the high C natural there that are unique to the instrument. So I generally don't use a lot of triplets other than that one spot, which I use a lot of. So again, as opposed to, it just gives it a bit of an extra bounce and kind of helps define that jig rhythm, I think. So work on that exercise-wise. Again, you can always do triplets everywhere you like, and if you're so inclined, feel free to throw them in, but specifically the one you want to work on. And make sure when you're doing it, play it slowly, play it clean. But ultimately what you're trying to get is a bit of an accidental G in there. And it's subtle, but it drives a lot of that rhythm of the triplet and really makes it jump out. So that's one, that's the triplet. Work on that, play with that a little bit. The other one is the crossing noise. Now, it's been mentioned in the comments a few times. People have asked me, you say crossing noise. Well, typically that's a bad thing in the world of Highland pipes, and they're absolutely right. It's a mistake. It happens when you're doing a transition between notes and you accidentally hit the one below it. In this case, we're doing it intentionally. So right off the bat, What you're doing there, rather than just going, say in this case I'm going from an A to a G, you're using the F sharp finger as basically a tap. It's the same thing if you're playing a tap. It's the same effect. It's a little bit more tricky because you really got to get your timing down correctly. You don't want to get the full sound of the note, and it's also easy to just miss it if you don't time it right. Exercises with this, I think I've demonstrated this in another video, but you can really run some easy scales with that. And it's always the note below. And you can start off playing it slowly. But you're not aiming to get that. That's not your end goal. Your end goal is to have it be a lot more quick and a lot more subtle. And you can try it from different notes. You can do a third there. Just mix it up and play with it. And again, what you're trying to get is the similar sound to a tap. Same kind of idea, and it's got to be just as quick. So again, as always with any of these things, practice them slowly, but work on getting it up tempo. So hopefully that's of some value to you guys. Check out that tune. I'm not going to bother breaking down the melody because that's really not what this video is about, but it's a good one to play around with if you can get. I'll post a link to the sheet music as well, and hopefully you guys like that, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.